Hello, Andre. Recording this a bit later than usual, so let's just get right into it. So here you can see my collidable group. Here is the collision volume, AABB, that has been added to the group, and I had to align 16 it. Not a big deal. So, what this has changed is it added this little thing. This is technically misnamed. This should be named for consistency with the actual collision volumes. That should be named compute model. But that's what it is. It's computing the model. So what this does, loops through the thing, gets their AABBs, which all objects now, no matter what, will have their AABB formed. So we can actually see that in action. Let's just take the it'll take the B-sphere. That's what I meant. But basically, when you create an object, it will no longer create just a... oh, that's right. It's here. So it says the current collision, but it'll always update the B-sphere, no matter what. It'll update the current volume, and then it'll update the B-sphere. So every object has a B-sphere now. So this loops through their B-spheres, grabs them and says, hey, what's your minimum and your maximum? Then checks it against itself using a new math tool that I made. It's just computing. Yeah, it's just min-max. So it'll do that, and it'll generate an AABB from that. Now, to the really important part. So here you can see if collidable test group. So it says, are these two groups touching? If yes, go to the next thing. And for the next thing, loop through the AABBs of one of them and see if that is colliding with. So this is object. So this is group 1. See if group 2's AABB intersects with any of the B spheres of group 1. Then, if it does, it'll say, okay, so group 2, your AABBs, are any of you touching this B, or group 2's B spheres, are your B spheres touching this one B sphere that we have confirmed is touching? If so, great. Now, do the actual regular collision. Do the regular collision test. If and only if there. And so here's the old collision. So that's the collision. But that is not all I want to show you. No. I have made some more strides in my research project that I'd like to show off. Namely, the full implementation of my light object. Light object. So here you can see, if we go down to the scene demo, we have a light object instantiated just like the other objects, except this is not user-defined code. You can actually give it a position and it'll set that to its position, but if you do it generically, then it'll stick it at the 0. It's like 0, 50, 0. So it's slightly above slightly above the ground. But anyways, so what this does is the light object is now fully implemented, just like any other OPAL. Here is the OPAL, by the way. So here's the manager for it. But that's not all. No, I have been working on other things as well. On another thing as well, which is very important, which is a new graphics object! Yay! At the moment, this thing is little more than a glorified wrapper for the existing texture light. But yeah, but I needed to get that made, and so I was working on that as well. I've been fiddling around with the shader, but that shader isn't done yet, so I can't really demo it. Speaking of which, let's just get into this. So, you wanted to see... I'm going to upload this document in the sprint as well, if you want to look at it. No real hurry. So anyways, what I want for the game. AI track and move the player, semi-randomized movement, make them a bit harder to hit. Respawn mechanic for the player on death, ammunition pickups, color or other visual indicators to show being hit, a better health bar. Yeah. I want enemy spawners. I want something that will make the enemies pop out. So that would just be basically a factor, or like multiple objects connected to a factory spitting out enemies just like they spit out bullets. Lighting, obviously, my research project. I'll go into greater detail below. Environment, terrain model, maybe some like destroyable cover, stuff like that. Something to make it just a little more interesting, I guess. Plans for the research project. So all three directional light, or all three types of light. The ability to have an arbitrary number of lights. And like obviously all the things that would be required for that. So obviously I already have the light manager. It is functioning as intended. I have a semblance of a visualizer, but I want these three things to be more specific. For directional, I want it to appear and like be pointing and be a rectangle that is pointing in the direction of the directional light. For the point light, I want it to be a sphere that is the radius of the light for the sphere. And for the spotlight, I want it to be a rectangle that is the length and size of the spotlight's cone. Creating the new graphics object right now, and obviously creating the new shader right now. So those are my current plans for the research project. Oh god, this went on really long. Here, let me demo real quick, and then... So here's my greater groups. Once they start colliding, that's when they decide that the things should show up. Here, let me watch this. Oh, that blue is the light, by the way. That's the visualizer for the light. So I fire. I went in. Here we go. So you'll notice that when I fired, it flashed that it had hit, but the B-spheres didn't show up. That's because the B-sphere drawing is told to happen only when it would actually collide with the B-sphere. So here you can see I'm bumping into them, but you can also see that I am not actually using the B-sphere for this thing's collision right now. I am using an OBB. Sorry, that's my pushback function acting funny when I hit it in a weird angle. Alright. That's all I have for this week. This went really long, I'm sorry.